Hello, I'm Ellen McCauley, and I'm at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York. One time someone quit because they said, you really talk about God too much in that group. And I said, didn't the name kind of give it away a little bit, the Pray It Off? So I want to start tonight by really talking about what you should be asking yourself in 2023. Not necessarily resolutions, but I think in order for us to grow and change, we need to look back at not our whole life, because let's not get sucked down in the mire and muck of that. Let's just go back to 2022, see where we've grown, where we can grow a little bit better, especially where it comes to our faith. So there's questions you can ask yourself. In which areas of your spiritual life have you grown the most in 2022? And I'm going to answer them for me so you can maybe use it as an example for yourself. As I reflected on 2022, what I really was conscious of is that prayer was my knee-jerk reaction to when something happened. My first reaction was, oh my gosh, please, God, help us. God, Jesus, I'm praying immediately. Or if somebody tells me something, I'm going to pray about that. And you really do. You know, there's a lot of people that says, I'm going to pray about that, and then they don't. And sometimes I want to cover my butt and say, and everything I ever said I would pray for, Lord, that this is part of that too. So I really was conscious that prayer was a knee-jerk go-to reaction. It wasn't like for the good things, for the bad things, for all things in between. A beautiful day, thank you, Jesus. That made me feel happy that it became such a natural part of my being. In what area of your spiritual life has your growth disappointed you? And you know, one of the things I tried to get away from in 2022 is that for years I was a regular Catholic saying the rosary and also saying regular prayers. Like I'd have these prayers that I'd say every day. And I noticed they got kind of rote. They got kind of repetitive. And that disappointed me because I want my prayer life to be fresh. And I decided that God doesn't care about me saying these rote prayers. What he really cares about is me talking to him. Like, I'm getting out of bed today, Lord. It's my hammer toe surgery. Lead me, guide me. Help me not have foot pain for the rest of my life because it's been bad. How did you view God in 2022? I viewed God as if I'm not quite there. I want him to be the most important thing in my life. But sometimes I still get sucked into the stress and the anxiety of the day-to-day minutia. Every day it's a crisis du jour. So I viewed him as the end-all be-all, but I didn't always trust that he was going to take care of everything. So trust is big for me. Where have you seen examples of answered prayers? So much. So many answered prayers. When I told my mother that I was going to have the group pray for her, she goes, aren't they sick of praying for me by now? I go, no, Mom, they never get sick of praying for you. We don't get sick of praying for anyone we love. And the reason we can pray for you now is because their prayers were answered in the previous prayers, right? Mm-hmm. So that's important. Damar Hamlin, our prayers were answered there. Every New Year's Eve, I say, my Lord and my God, please help my family to all be there next New Year's Eve. And then I sit there on New Year's Eve and I go, you did it, Jesus, thank you. That's my prayer, and I've seen it be answered. Who has helped your spiritual development the most? You know who has? You. You. Because of this group, I had to start listening to praise and worship music because I wanted to pray a song every week. And it got to the point where I now believe there's only two kinds of music, disco and praise and worship. Nothing else counts. Or the 70s. Anything in the 70s. Bee Gees, Motown, that all counts. But that's it. Oldies and praise and worship. Also, reading the Bible every day, or every week. Now I read it every day. Saying the rosary every day. You can say the rosary and not make it rote because you dedicate it to people. You do those spiritual intentions. I have the different days memorized. Who do you think you've helped most in their spiritual journey? Just like you've helped me, I think I've helped you. Just by holding this group, just by having us all be together. In which areas of your life would you most like to grow? The trust, the surrender, the belief that God has my best interest in heart. That I don't want to be the vice president of God. I want him to be the boss and me just to sit here and go, thanks. What's one spiritual practice you want to devote more time to in 2023? Talking to God, just having a conversation, just getting up and going, okay, driving to work. Whoa, look at the dome. They're in red and blue for the Buffalo Bills. It looks beautiful. Just a conversation. What audacious prayer do you want answered? Lord, I would like the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl. Okay? Yep. And don't forget, anybody who knows me, I was a fan before anybody. I've been a fan through the losses. I've been a fan for life. And another audacious prayer is I'd really like to weigh 168 someday. That's my dream weight, you know? How will you live out your commitment to faith in a practical way? Practically, I think I got to work on that. I got to think of things that I can do besides what I'm already doing. So I want you all to do that yourselves. I want you to go home and really think about your faith. Really think, are you living your faith? Do you go to church and then you're trashing people? I think we all sometimes trash people a teeny bit. We might say, can you believe what she did? Can you believe she did that? Oh my gosh. Or sometimes when I'm watching Jeopardy, I'm like, I can't believe they would wear that outfit. It shows her rolls. I mean, you can't show your rolls on Jeopardy. You should wear like a 2X if you're a 1X, and then you can't see your rolls. And Bob's like, I can't hear this show. Stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to stop right there.